Hi everybody, welcome back to Nellie with Designs. Today we are going to continue in the yo-yo journal. I only have a few pages left to complete and then I can send this off to Liz over at Buttons and Brains. If you don't follow Liz, I highly recommend that you do, and I will put her link in the description below. She's also working on her yo-yo journal, and I haven't watched because I want to be surprised. But what I've seen her post on her Instagram, it looks all gorgeous. So today, what I want to do is I'm going to work on a full page in here, and I'm not sure which page I'm going to choose. I'm thinking maybe about this one, but I'm not sure. But first I want to show you what I've created to put in the book. And then I made a tag and I need to make a pocket for the book. So this here is the tag that I created. And I wanted to use some old blue jeans. I wanted to use some of my lace that I have. So I didn't pull a lot. I went through my basket and I only pulled a few things because I didn't need a lot, and I wanted to challenge myself to use what I did pull. So I pulled this doily right here, and as you can see, I cut a section of it out, and that is what is on the background here of the tag. And I had some different ideas as to what I wanted to do, but I ended up, my final decision was to leave it whole on the tag up here. So I pulled that. This I pulled, but I didn't use it. I'm not eliminating it. I may use it on the page where I'm going to make a pocket. So I'm going to set that over there. This I pulled, this sweet little doily, which I just think is really, really cute. I initially thought of maybe cutting this out and centering it and putting it on the tag. As you can see, I did not. I will use this in some other fashion. It may not be on the pocket. I pulled some tulle. I thought it would be too bulky if I use the tulle. I initially thought, I'm just showing you this because you can see how my thought process changed along the way. I pulled this piece of muslin or just heavier canvas, and I thought I would do a nice stamp on here, and then I would take it off and do a nice, I would outline, do a nice piece of embroidery and put that on there. Well, that didn't go. Didn't want to do that. I pulled these two pieces of lace border. I thought I would use something like this. I may use it on the pocket. I didn't want to use it on the tag because putting the tag in, this would interfere, but I'm going to put that over there. These are my go-to flowers. I just love them. As you can see, I did take two pieces off of this. I took the flower and I took this little half circle here. And I also took the inside. Once I had clipped this out, I was left with this little image here. And I just think it's really, really cute. And I glued that on there like that, just as a little extra something, something. I'll put that over there. And then these here, I'm just going to set aside. I'm not going to use. This here, I may use. This is old, very old, and I thought maybe I would have to press this out because I don't like it all wrinkled there. Maybe I would use this on the pocket, or maybe I would use some of these sweet little pieces here. So I'm just going to set that aside. But I want to explain the tag to you. As you can see, I stitched around it. And the first thing that I did in getting this complete was, like I said, I cut the green piece of doily out and then I stitched around it singly. All right, didn't have anything else on. And then the next thing I did, believe it or not, was I punched my two holes right here. And these are very, very old buttons. And these buttons here come from my mom's button box. And these must go back to the 1950s. And I used to play in her button box when I was little. As she would sew, she'd give me her buttons, and it's a big round tin. And I would dump them on the floor, and I would just play with them. And they had the most wonderful smell to them. I know it sounds odd for me to say that, but it was kind of like opening up a box of Crayola crayons. And I've cherished these buttons for many, 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 many years. I'm 64 now. And so for, well, I don't know, subtract 3 from 64, you get what? 62? 62 years, plus or minus. I played with these, and I'm still holding on to them, but I wanted to send one over to Liz because they do mean a lot to me. They're just very cool buttons. So I wanted to use this kind of as the top of the tag, and I took some sari silk and tied that on there because I just love that blue. And then these here, these again are from my mom's box. These are limited quantity, but I wanted to send some to Liz again. These are very special buttons, and my mom, when she would knit, sometimes she would put these on her sweaters. She never used these as buttons, just as little adornment. So I wanted to share those with Liz, so I put them on there. A couple buttons from my mom's button box, and some blue jeans. I really love blue jeans, and if my blue jeans get torn and tattered, I start embroidering them, which I'm going to do a little series on that. When the knees give out, I start doing applique and stitching and embroidery, and they just turn out to be really fun, 60-ish style hippie jeans. And I left these here are actually from my son. He had jeans that didn't fit him any longer, and instead of throwing them away or giving them to Goodwill or whatever, I'm using them in my crafting. So these are the bottom hem, and I just ripped and tore these here and used as a side. So this is the tag that will go into Liz's book. And I want to make a blue jean pocket for them. So like I said, I'm not sure where I'm going to put these, and I do have to keep a few things in mind. Like I want this to be up so the button doesn't get caught in the book. I want it up above. So I really kind of have to think this pocket out. And again, I'm not sure. Once I get the blue jean cut, then I can decide what page it's going to go on. So these are the jeans that I'm going to be working with today, and they've got some nice, let me just clear my desk here. They've got some nice rips and tears in them. And I also want to put this tag on. It says possibility begins with imagination. And I just think that works with art, with life, with adventure. But these are the jeans. And as you can see, my son bought them like this because you can't buy jeans now unless they're all holey and tattered and torn. So this section here is where I want to use this section right here for the pocket. And I'm thinking that I could slip this down in to the pocket, but I'm just thinking. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing yet. So the first thing I am going to do is I'm going to cut a section of this out. Now, I'm not just going to cut. I think I need to cut a 7x5 piece for the journal. So let's just take a page back here. Let's just take this one. So 5 by 7. And I'm going to cut it at 7. I'd rather have it too long than not long enough, because what I'm thinking is, and I would cut it to I might cut it to 9 because I'm thinking about folding it up to make another front pocket and possibly tucking this one in. I just don't know where my brain is going to take me on this. So I want to have extra material to work with. I'm not going to use my pinking shears because I want this to be, I think I want it frayed. And I only have to cut the top. I'm not going to cut right across the jeans because it'll be too bulky if I use the front and back. So I'm just going to make a little start here. And I don't know if I want to rip it, which I could rip to keep it all consistent. I'll go right to that seam. And I guess I will tear it up. I'm going to go off camera and tear this. Make sure I can. And that way it's not the vertical way, it's not going to tear because it's into this. Let's see, let me try it. It's like wrestling with an alligator. Yeah, it's not going to tear. So I have to cut this up and then I can probably just fray it. So let's get this cut up here like this. And again, I'm going to go a little bit above because like I said, I would rather have too much material to work with than not enough. Where's my ruler? Yeah, so we're doing 6 inches, so that's fine. We're just going to go right. Yeah. So let's get this cut up here. I hope I'm in camera. Let me just double check I am. Yeah, you can see where they just glued that on there. That's interesting. They just ripped and glued that. All right, let's move this tag. And I will cut this and go right across with it. All right. Okay. All right. Be gone, jeans, be gone. All right. So here is the piece of material that I want to work with for this tag. So my next thought is maybe to take this right off. I don't know if that's not stitched. Isn't that weird? That's the workmanship of today. I'm thinking if I fold that down, that would be a little reinforcement there, and I could I could glue it down. You can see here where I ripped this a little bit more in case I wanted to have that tag slide in here. Just like I said, I'm not sure what direction I'm going in. I think the other thing I could do is leave this up like this. I could glue this back up on here, and I could use this as just as a little opening here. If I clean that up a little bit, I could put that in there like that. I have to think in my mind how much of this I want to show. The other thing I thought of is taking this and turning this up. And this is where I could make a pocket here. I could make a pocket here. This could come down. Where's my, this is where I could use this right here. Let me fold this over. Let me do this. Let me tuck this in here like this, just because I want to see. I don't want to cut this unless I'm actually going to use it. So if I folded this up like this, that could be on there like that. Just want to try to make it a little more feminine. And if I have a pocket, I could actually put that in there. It might be kind of fun. I could put a couple buttons here. And that would tuck in just nicely there where you could still see it. And then when she lifts it out, I could have something else tucked behind here. So if I did that, I would want to glue this top. Unglue this one down here, or I'm just going to get a page here. Let me go back to this. I need to cut down. So I think maybe the first thing I'm going to do, because I think the size will determine. This might be kind of fun here. I like it across from here. So I need to cut this. I'm going to have to take this off because this is just getting in the way. So that'll be the first thing that I do. Then we are going to have to cut. I don't care if this hangs over a little bit. So I think we can work on fraying this a little bit more. Give it a little rougher, and I'll take everything away from the other side. Make this a little more torn and tattered here. Can use those threads for something else. Okay. And then this side, so that could hang over a little bit. And then this side, we'd have to come pretty close. This would hang over maybe a little bit more. This side would have to come to right about here. I'm going to follow this seam. I kind of find the thread, the seam here that I can follow. It's not a seam, but the pattern. Let's see how well I did there. And we need to do a little bit more. I think we can be a little more aggressive. I think we'll do it this way. Try to even it up. I don't want to use black ink on this. Maybe the pencil. Let's see if the pencil will work. And it kind of does. I can kind of see that. It's like driving. I have to look ahead. To see the lines. So if that's like that, that's like that. Let's get this frayed and let's get some. I hope everybody's doing well today. In my world, it's Saturday. I'm not sure when you're going to be watching this. I wanted to use my calendar on the day that it wanted to start using that cute calendar I had, but it's not working out because the days that I make the videos, they're not the same days that I'm publishing them, but today's Saturday, Sunday, the 14th, 15th. I am so old that when I was a kid, we actually had to win to get a trophy. I do remember those days, so I can be in that age group of being so old, especially during field day. I don't know if you guys and gals had field day when you were growing up in elementary school, where you won the blue ribbon for the 50-yard dash or the tug of war. And yeah, if you didn't win, you didn't get a trophy. You didn't get a ribbon, which teaches you a lot. This little spot here where this glue is giving me a hard time. So I'm going to work it from this side. See if I can get that out of here. Whoops. I'm like catching your finger. Okay, I think that might work now. All right. All right, I'm going to finish tearing this up. I'm going to finish tearing this up because you don't need to continue seeing that. And when I'm done, we will continue. All right, so I think that's good. I don't mind if these little frays are over here on the side. I think it just adds character, and I don't think it will hinder the closing of the book. So as you can see, it's probably, what are we talking, 2 inches longer? Yeah, about 2.5 inches longer than the bottom of the page, which will work out well. And because I want to have this tag popping out of the top, at least right through here, this much. I want that towards the top here. We'll bring that up maybe a little bit. So if my tag is right here at the top, okay, can everybody see? Am I in camera? Let me just check. Yeah, I'm in camera. And I still have to have it. I need to have the jean come down here. I'm just going to fold, well, maybe come down a little bit. Fold this up to the tag here, okay? And then this is going to be my pocket. Now, I know that this is a little short, but what I plan on doing, if I put, just get a couple pins here. If I pin this, then I can add lace and such to the bottom. Let's get that pinned in. Okay. All right. So that's pinned in like that. And then my tag will fit in quite nicely. That'll tuck right in there. There's enough of just a little pocket there to hold that in. Okay. And And I think all I would do is I would add just a couple buttons here. I don't think I want to stitch this. Maybe, I don't know. I just don't know yet. So this is where I would take, I would start to build my pocket here with lace and trim or whatever. And I could stamp a little saying on this here and take, I'm just playing. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. So this is, you know, this is what you have to do, and you have to think about it and look and see and change your mind. You know, I just have to see what the possibilities are. It would be kind of fun if we did something like this where it hangs down a little, and then you can build your layers here. So you can have a pantaloon, a pantaloon effect, like babies wear over their diapers. But you could do, I could do something like that, which would be kind of pretty. We could do that. We have this lace here where this is a little more in the blue jean realm. It's a little tougher and coarser, and we could actually do, we could do 2 rows of this, which would actually be kind of fun. I think this works out better. And where is my, what did I do with my hard piece of hardware? Anybody see it? Anybody? There it is. Thank you for letting me know it was under my book. Actually, under Liz's book. Then we could put something like this. And this would be a nice opportunity to do some embroidery along here. That might be kind of fun. And then maybe I could do, because I do like to do embroidery work on jeans. So I think what we'll do is I'm going to mark this using my pins. And I'm going to go right across. I'm going to go right across the top here. So I'm going to know where this gets folded. So we have one there. Okay, we have one here. And I'm doing this because I do not want to draw on it. You could ink it up. If I had a chalk, I do have a chalk. I'm just too lazy to go get it. I have a yellow chalk that I could mark this with, but I just need a kind of sorta where this is going to be. And then we can talk about the inside back where the, okay, got that there. Okay, so this is where I'm going to actually do my fold. I will fold it up, and I know it goes this far, okay? Then I can sit and do some embroidery, some pretty floral work along here. And I do think that I will be taking this and I will put this along the bottom. So I'm only going to, what's this, 2 inches, 2 inches. I can embroider, I'll have a 2-inch area there that I can embroider in. So that's done. Now, when I put this on the page and I pull the tag out, I'm going to want to see something on the back here. So again, I am thinking that maybe I could have something coming up out of here up onto the page here. And I think I'm going to, this side seems to be okay. I think I need to take a little bit more off of here, which I will. I don't know if I could put some die cut, some of those pretty die cut flowers like I did here. I could do some nice die cuts that would tie them in to this here. The daisies would be cool. Coming up out of here. I'd have to see what I have for, I don't think I have too much in the material world for florals, but I could do a nice applique. So I think this is, we're going to hold up the video here, and I am going to start doing some embroidery. So when Liz takes her tag out, she'll see some embroidery along here and then a nice little image behind here. What do you think I should do behind here? I don't want to leave it just white. I could make this kind of a funky cut. Make a funky cut. Sorry, I was out of page there. I don't know why. I feel like I'm in limited space these days. I could make a funky cut along here, and I could actually have, I could make this just a little, she wants to tuck a paper in there, a special clipping or a paper. I could make this into a pocket, and I would only have it opened enough behind the tag because I wouldn't want her to have a blank space behind here. So I would kind of do it from here to here, and then she could have all this space to tuck something inside there, or I could make her a little journaling something to put in there, and then she'd have this little peekaboo window. It'd be cute to have some eyes peeking out of there, wouldn't it? She'd have that little peekaboo window, and I could trim some of these away from there. So that might be kind of fun if I could find a cute little image and have a set of eyes behind there. That would be kind of cute. All right, so I'm going to continue, and then when I get probably 3/4 of this done, I will include you back in and we will finish it up. All right, everybody, I'll see you soon. Okay, so I'm back. Hi, everybody. Back. I've done some stitching. I worked on this Today is now Sunday. I started this project yesterday, Saturday, and I took the afternoon and I kind of digested what I wanted to do. So I've done some stitching here. You can see I just have done some very simple, stimple. That's the new simple and stitching word. I've done some stimple flowers here. These I've just done, I guess you call this a lazy daisy stitch, and then some French knots along here. I've got my little brown stems. I did go ahead and sew on a double layer of this fun little lace here. I think it looks, kind of, I'm not going to say grungy because I'm not looking for the grungy look, but it just looks like it goes with the jeans better. Obviously, I didn't change the tag out. The tag to me is just, it's perfect for this. And I've decided that I do want to make this pocket a little bit deeper to tuck the tag inside here. So, and it fits along the page perfectly. We will put this in the book today. But I wanted to show you, I added another piece, and I'll tell you why I have this piece up here. I added this little piece here. I cut the doily apart again. All right, so this is part of the doily, and then I added this white flower here from this little piece, and then I took my embroidery ribbon, and you can see I made some petal stitches here. I did some French knots here. I wanted to go with a green motif to carry the tag in with this as well. And I did the coral here to pick up the coral along here. And that you'll see that's what I'm doing here. I'm doing a straight stitch. I thought I would just show you how I do my stitches down. And I'm only doing the stitches until this is used up. And then here I added some fun little sequins to this piece here to give it a little shimmer and shine. So if you want to stick around for the stitching, this will be fairly fast. And I just want to show you how I do my stitching here. And I don't need to go down all the way, as you can see, because that bottom part is going to be coming up to make a pocket. So there's really no need to waste your good embroidery thread. And I make my stitch that's going to be showing long enough. And then when I come back through, I do a bit of a shorter stitch because I am doing it. You can see here, it's like a brick. So it's every other. And I don't think I have to go. I can stop my stitch there. And then I will bring it up here. I know this is very elementary, but some people, they would just take one stitch at a time. And I just want to show you how you don't have to do that. So then they would go down again like this, to make sure that they were overlapping. And then they would come up, which is fine. You can do it like that. But it does take a little bit longer time. So if you can just kind of judge where you want your thread, you can do it this way. And this is where that funky glue was. So this is going to be a little bit harder here to get my needle through. I'm just going to push it down on the desk like that to get it through that area where the glue was. And then see, when you pull it, you have quite a few stitches all there and ready. So I'm just going to finish this off with you. And I think when I turn up to make my pocket, I think I am going to put a button on each side. To hold it in place instead of gluing it, or I mean, it'll be stitched, but not in stitch in the senses with a machine or and again, I'm just using this up some people like to watch others stitch. Some people find it boring. So if you find it boring, you can fast forward a little bit through this. I just want to do it. So if you're not used to stitching, if there's anybody out there that really has never used a needle and thread before, and there are those who have never used a needle and thread, they've never boiled water. I don't judge. And I'm here to help and encourage. And I just find all this stitching and embroidery very, very relaxing. I would love to do Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, but I would never get it done. I just wouldn't get it done. But I do watch some of the gals that do that, and it's just amazing. And I could just sit and I do sit and watch them stitch. And then I'm just going to end that there. So now when the tag goes in there, it's going to have a little bit extra oomph on the side. And I think that'll be quite lovely. Just like that. I still have this here. This says possibility begins with imagination. And I'm going to be gluing that right there in the middle of this. So I'm going to grab my button box, and I think we will sew a couple of buttons right here. I just want to make sure that that's exactly what I want to do. I don't want it to be too cumbersome in here. That will be going towards the top. And you just have to fiddle with these things and make sure that everything is jiving and working together. Now, if I add a button there, it might be a little too much. So maybe I will just stitch this on my machine. Or maybe I will just take some more of this thread, my embroidery thread, and just stitch it down. But I'm wondering if I should take another color, something totally different. To put there, because I don't want it to blend in with this here. So the other thing I'm thinking, maybe we could take some embroidery thread. I have well, still, if I did a bow there, I was thinking I could do a bow, or I could do a couple of French knots. That might be kind of fun. I could do it in that color there. I could do it in a blue. I have a bright blue. we could do a couple of French knot top and bottom. That might be kind of fun. But I don't know if I like that blue. Oh, let's see what else I have. These are all of my, just some of my trays with them in it. I might want a wider. Let's see. I could do a green. A green would be pretty. That would go with that there. Maybe I'll do the green. This is a little bit thicker. I think this is 10 millimeters. This ribbon here. So let me get this started, and I will do one side, and if it works out well, I'll come back and we can do the other side together. All right, so I did 2 French knots on this side, and you can see I had to bring out my pliers because it is denim, and when you make your, I want to show you, if you use ribbon embroidery, there is a way to secure it on your needle because it will fall out quite a bit, so quite often. So what I do is when I feed it through, you take it, you just loop it back through, and you splice it. See where it's right in the middle there? You bring it through like this. You pull it through. You bring it up and you just secure it to the base of your needle. And that it won't come out. There's kind of like a little knot there. So because that is done, you can see how tight it gets. Sometimes it is hard to pull through a heavier fabric. And then you can do the same thing on the end to make your knot, but I just do it the way I normally do is I make a loop and I bring it through once and twice. And then I just bring it down to the, oh, it's going to make a liar out of me. I bring it down to the bottom and I make I have my knot, see, down at the bottom. So now my needle won't go anywhere. It's on there to stay. But I am going to have to pull this through. And when you're working with ribbon embroidery or ribbon, when I'm doing a French knot, I keep it a little bit looser. And this is where, see where like that knot is there. Sometimes you do have a little difficulty getting it through. So I'm just going to use these and pull my needle through. I had to wiggle it through before each layer, but this makes it a little bit easier just for teaching purposes. And my hands aren't that strong anymore. And I do have a hard time. There we go. Pulling things through that are a little bit tighter. Okay, so there's the French knot there. And then I will just do the top notch here. Top notch. That's a ski resort. Top notch. And when you're working with regular fabric, you don't have to do this. It's just that the three layers of denim can be a little. And I'm keeping my wrap a little looser, just so the knot on the needle itself doesn't get stuck in there. There. All right. There. So now we have our 4 French knots and we have a nice little pocket here. So that's another way that you can make a pocket. You don't have to, what do I want to say? You don't have to put it on a machine. You could use buttons, but hand stitching is just fine. And this is nice because it's just a little bit different, something different. So there's the 4 French knots right here holding the pocket in place. So let's move this over, and I think this will fit perfect on the page. It's going to overlap just a little bit. So I will probably work it this way here because I do have some, I don't want that green to show here. So I will finagle that a little bit. I'll just tuck that in just a little bit there. I might have to turn it just a little bit, my page, but that's okay. So I did mention the other day, I'm going to glue this on, and we'll give this a little bit of a chance to start to dry. I did mention the other day, I thought it would be quite fun to have a pair of eyes poking out from behind here. And I'm wondering if I should just put this here. And I do have a set of eyes that I do want to use. So I found this image of the scale the other day. I was going through my bins, and yes, of course, I have all of these wonderful vintage cuts of women. This is Joan Brooks. I don't know if she was she must have been a singer, because this was a piece of sheet music. All right, we're going to let this sit over here. And I said I thought it would be fun to have a pair of eyes picking, I can't talk today, peeking out of the little space here. So I found Joan, and she is going to go into the book here. And I'm going to get her positioned first. So we're going to have our, and then this will come all together. You will see how this is going to work. So I want to get this. I'm wondering if I should get the top part glued on first. And I'm thinking I may want to do that. And I want to really try to hide that little piece right there. I think that will be fine. So we are going to get, you can see my back messy work here. We are going to get this glued first. Just so I know I can position it, and I have this flap already. And I can kind of guide it here. And this is always the tricky part, because I do have to be cognizant of the center, but I also want to be cognizant of the ends here as well, and what's behind it. So I'm going to let that sit for just a minute. See if I can get a little bit of the glue off my hands. The bottom I'm not too concerned about. I can put a piece of washi tape there. I'm more concerned about the way this will close and having this on the side here. And I may have to cut this one here where I drew it down. Don't be afraid to cut, and because this will be, if we cut this, this will be glued this way in towards the book. Okay, like that. And then I'm just going to have to play with it right here, and then that won't show. And then I think that will work out fine. So I want to take Joan's photo, and I want to put Joan under here, and I want to get her eyes. So before I do any gluing, I want to trim some of this here. I don't want to trim it all. It's kind of like trimming bangs, right? And you're going to see what this here really kind of turns into. I'm not gonna say anything until I want to see if you can see it. And like I said, I don't want to cut all of these off because I want to have a little mystery here, like a little veil. And I can always just kind of tack that down and glue it a little bit. But I made this, I don't know if you can tell or see it, I made this to look like a hat, like she's wearing a hat. And I just think it's really, I think it's really cute. So see, if you were to put this on here like this, it wouldn't work. If you want it to look, you're going to have to put it at an angle. So I'm going to, for this, I'm going to run my tape roll. I don't want to put any glue on the back of this. Especially I don't want to put my favorite fast drying glue on there. So we're going to put her right about here. So we have her down. Okay, there's her eyes. Can everybody see that? I think it's just really cool. So there are her eyes. And now we can, that's on there. I'm going to have to glue this down afterwards because I don't want that to come off. So I will, last but not least, I will glue that down, and I'll do that off camera because I may have to hold a little bit because I don't want this to slip off. All right, so now we're going to finish gluing this down here. So we're going to run, and I think what I'll do, I'm just going to work it here because with this glue, you can slide it around quite a bit. Not going to glue all the way to the end. Because again, I want to be able to move this around. So I'm going to move these over here like that, away from that side. All right, and then we'll go over there. Let's bring our flap down. And I'm going to work from this side first. And I like that little bit of fringe on the back side of the year of the rabbit, like that. That's kind of fun. So we have this here. And then we can just move this over like this. We have Joan behind her veil here. And we're just going to keep that all That closes beautifully. Like that. And then our tag sets down in there ever so nicely, and it's above a little bit. And then Liz can close it. We've got that like that twisted. It's getting a little chunky on her, but that's okay. And then we will let that dry. Then I'm just going to take a piece of washi, and I think I will use a brown. I'm going to run it on the bottom there. And I think this would be fine, that one there. And it will kind of match over here, Liz's. And I'm just going to run a piece of washi right on the bottom here to combat some of that white. And I think that's good. So we have all that. These can go back in here. And that's good right there, like that. And then on this side here. And then I'm just going to trim a couple more of these. It's like clipping bangs. I still want her to be mysterious, but I want those eyes to be able to be seen. So there, that is another page in Liz's yo-yo journal. I think it's really cool. I think it's fun. She has a nice tag that can just set and slip right in there. She's got some pretty posies. And then, like I said, I will glue this down after. I don't need to do this on camera. I will just twist that and glue this down, and then that will secure that in there. So that is it. Another page in the yo-yo journal. I think I have 2 pages left. I will probably make those off camera so I can get this sent out to Liz. So I want to thank everybody today. I know this may have been a little bit longer. You may think it a little bit more complicated, but really it's not. And I encourage you to do some stitching in your journals. It doesn't have to be a total cloth journal. It's nice to change things up. I do have other stitching in here for Liz. This is all hand done, and it's nice. It's fun, it's different, it's unique. So again, I want to thank everybody for joining in. If you liked my video, I'd love to hear your comments. Give me a thumbs up, and I will see you again very shortly down the road. Okay, everybody, have a great day. Bye-bye.